This week on Motorhead Garage, Brian and John wrap up a classic Vette and a line of truck suspension. But before that, we get one last look at the abilities of a Waterjet cutter. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. You know, over the last couple episodes, we showed you some of the great attributes of the Multicam V-Series Waterjet table, and it's been really neat to see a bunch of different things and a bunch of different kind of aspects that the unit has to offer. But there's one major element that we haven't touched on yet, and that is the ability that this unit allows you to design and build things. Now, our Project Mustang has these really cool coilover front shocks on it. Unfortunately, those coilover front shocks are being held to the car with this really kind of weeny, thin metal reinforcing plate. It's bent, it's misshapen, and we're going to use the V-Series Waterjet table to actually recreate this plate in a more suitable material so our car doesn't have chassis flex and actually handles the right way. So I'm once again joined by Chris from Multicam, and Chris, we figured out a problem. We're going to solve it the old-fashioned way, but your solution is way better than the old-fashioned way.
Okay. Old-fashioned way was send it outsourced, go get somebody else to cut your part, wait 2 weeks, bring it back, and oh man, I need to make some adjustments, right?
Well, I figured out we had that problem with the mounting plate on the Mustang. About 5 minutes later, you guys had the thing scanned, and we cut a prototype. Now we had a piece of scrap. We cut the prototype out of that. What am I looking at over here now?
So now we've made our adjustments. This should be a good part. We're going to get to go test it out here in just a few minutes.
So the Multicam Waterjet table is working on cutting the part out right now. You know, one of the things that's important to talk about in this process is when you send your stuff out to somebody else, not only you're relying on their timetable and their pricing structure, you're also relying on them protecting your intellectual property. You don't want to give that away.
Absolutely. A lot of times you are working on something that could be sensitive. You know, we're working on a bracket that is on thousands of vehicles, right? We should go into business right now.
I think we might be onto something here.
So this is the rapid prototyping process. This is something that you can do in-house, come up with an idea, quickly make it, test it, make a couple adjustments, and then, man, you've got a product that you're ready to now introduce to somebody to take to market.
And again, the brilliance of this style of cutting, being that it's a cold temperature process, it gives us a finished product. We're not going to take this thing off and deburr it and grind on it and change it. It's going to come off, we're going to pick it up and drop it on our Mustang.
Ready to go. Yep.
Pretty amazing stuff. And right now it's actually making the very final cut. You know, one of the things that's interesting too is the prototyping process is about taking a couple shots at something. You know, it's not necessarily about hitting it out of the park the first time.
Right.
The speed of being able to do it here, you know, we're a half hour into this process.
Time is money. You're totally going to be able to take this part. Let's compare the ones that you've got there.
So we went with the thicker material because of the fact our original was bending and everything. So this is our prototype piece. Now this is the nice thick finished product.
That's the nice thick finished product. Because remember, the original piece was about that same thickness, and look how bent up it got. So let's go to the car. Let's see if it fits.
I'm following you.
All right.
So really neat process here. You can tell it's environmentally friendly. It uses water and an abrasive. It's not, you know, there's nothing crazy going on in there. So let's find out if our finished product is going to drop right where we need it to.
All right. And right on.
That
was try number 2.
Yeah, try number 2, and we were inside of an hour to get them both done.
And the first one was actually quite nice. It fit as well. Okay.
Yeah, we just needed to make an adjustment on this bolt hole size.
We wanted that bolt hole to go on a little bit better than it did, so it does now, and we wanted it thicker. Those 2 adjustments, that part's ready to go.
Well, you know, the main kind of crux of the deal here with the Multicam Waterjet table is that if you can draw something, you can cut it. Proof positive right here.
Proof. You can draw it, you can cut it. It takes all of the stress out, too, of waiting for somebody else. It brings that quality control in-house. I'm not depending on somebody else's quality. It also, once I've got this machine, I've perfected this kind of capability, guess what? I'm now the local expert in my community.
Listen, we got a bracket that's going to fit like 8.2 million Mustangs out there right now. I think we're out of our mind if we don't make a run of, say, I don't know, what, 16, 18, 20 of these things?
Let's do it. Okay.
So it's just that easy. We got to program into the deal. Scott hit the button, and now this is going to use that piece of material to make a whole run of product out of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I really appreciate Scott doing the job to nest it. You're going to need somebody in-house, just like our guy Scott. He took that product. We said, we need 16 of these now. We've sold them. We got to make them. But we want to maximize the amount of product in that material. Again, saving us money, more profit. Okay?
And the productivity element, because this thing's going to work and do the job quickly.
Again and again and again.
Chris, thank you so much for coming in. John Gardner's going to have to find a new co-host because we're going into the bracket business here. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage right after this.
Transmissions are complex to say the least. There's a ton of moving parts in there, and if they're not moving, you could have catastrophic damage. That's why this week's Z-Max Minute's all about the transmission formula. Lenny, got me a car behind me with 100,000 miles. Shift's all right, but I want it to shift for another 100,000 miles. Can you help me out?
We want to not only shift it for another 100,000 miles, we want to even make the shifts all right and the shifts real smooth, and that's what Z-Max will do for your transmission. Put it in, it'll clean out the deposits, some of the varnish in there, all of that is slowing and sticking things up, and be able to make sure that you are able to shift smooth all the way through. It'll clean out the carbon, clean things out in there, soak into the metal, and be able to protect that transmission and your investment all the way through all those miles that you're dreaming about.
Now that's huge. Now transmissions have valves inside of a valve body that has to move. I mean, they're really precise, and you get varnish after a while. With the fluid, is it going to take care of that and help the shifting as well?
Absolutely. By taking care of the varnish, the carbon, and all of that, and then soaking into the metal, you're making things smoother and protected all in one bottle. And remember, with all of those internal parts, there's also seals, and that's where the drips will come from that you may see on your driveway. Well, this will help make those seals replenish themselves, tighten things up, make them better, seal them up that much more, and your transmission will work better, your driveway will look better, and you'll be a happier motorist.
Absolutely. Now, I don't want to go into a transmission and drain a bunch of fluid out. Do I have to do all that or just pour it in?
Hardest thing you've got to do is twist the cap and pour it in.
Now, you want to protect your investment in that transmission. Avoid that catastrophic damage. It's simply just take the cap off, pour it in. It's going to do the job. You stick around. There's plenty more Motorhead Garage right after this break.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is being brought to you by Heat Sheets, rigid heat shielding that isn't sticky. Fat Cat Customs, the Mid-South's #1 clear bra installer. Quick Latch, quality hood pins and push-button fasteners. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Now we got a classic Corvette in the shop, and it's gorgeous. As a matter of fact, it's so gorgeous, the driver keeps it in the garage and doesn't even drive it much. Now, why is that? Well, you're driving along, you're gonna get a road chip. Maybe a rock flies up, sand's gonna hit it, etch the paint, not to mention the sun beating down on it and fading the paint. We're here with Max from CCL Design. Now, Max, you guys designed a nano fusion paint protection film. That sounds cool in itself, and it works. Tell me a little bit about CCL Design and then the paint film.
Well, CCL Design is a global manufacturer of auto products, and of course they manufacture this product, the Nano Fusion Paint Protection Film, and we sell it all over the world, and it's a product that will not only preserve the paint finish, but as you mentioned, protect the finish from rock chips, even stains, and so forth.
Right, I mean, we're pumping some gas in, or we spill some washer fluid on there. I mean, we're gonna ruin this car.
Yes. Well, when you have our paint protection film on, it will protect against that.
Now tell me a little bit about the product itself. What's it all about? What's Nano Fusion?
Well, Nano Fusion is a coating that infuses the coating into the porosity of the urethane, so that it's not a top coat that lays on top of the coating, but it goes right into the urethane. So thus gives a superior protection. It's a premium coating that no one can compare with.
Now tell me a little bit about the installation. I mean, no yellowing, no nothing. It stretches out. It's going to stay in there in place?
Oh yes, it will stay perfectly clear, no discoloring, but it's an installation for professionals.
And that's the key word there, Max. I'll tell you what. We got Brian back there, and he's with the professional. That's a good thing. Nobody accused him of installing anything professionally. Let's check in with him and see how it's going.
Well, John, for the record, I've never ever claimed to be a professional at anything. But hey, I'm here with Richard from Fat Cat Customs. Richard, you are a professional, and like you told me earlier, the only thing better looking than you in this shop is this Borla 1966 Corvette. Thing's gorgeous, has an LS motor in it with their injection on it. Most importantly, it has an entire protective film that you've placed over this vehicle. It doesn't look like you've done anything, but it's perfect.
It's on there. It's on bumper to bumper all the way.
It's an amazing product. You've been in this industry for a couple decades now. You've seen how things have evolved and changed. Talk to me about products that have come along and how the nano protection or the nano fusion film is the best you've dealt with.
Well, we've dealt with some great brands through the years. Paint protection film has evolved, you're right. Most products are in their second, third, or fourth generation. This nano fusion to us as a professional installer, and we've been in this for almost 3 decades, is a stellar product. It's just fantastic.
Well, when we saw you guys doing the work, I mean, this is a labor-intensive job, especially because a car like this 66 Corvette is a custom job. The company CCL makes pre-cut applications for OEM vehicles, but when it gets to a classic like this, it's all handwork.
That's true. It's called a custom install in our industry. So we have digital patterns that CCL makes available through a pattern subscription, and it'll dial right in and fit like a glove for the newer models. Sure. But cars like this, yeah, they're pretty much custom install. You got to make your own templates.
There's one last piece you need to cover on this Corvette, and that's the headlight. So if you can give us a demonstration on covering this iconic headlight, I'd love to watch.
Sure. Sure, we're going to take our slip solution over here. We've already cleaned the panel before we started, but we're just going to re-wet it just a little bit. Now, this one, Brian, is a pre-cut. In other words, it's like we talked about a pattern. It's ready to go, so it'll fit like a glove. So we take off the nano fusion, a little bit more fluid. We take what every installer in the world knows is a rubber squeegee, and then we're ready to go. Now, we had our hands wet so we don't print our film, and we get a good clean surface. And as you can see right off the bat, I mean, even before you start, the film is difficult to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful in the fact that this gorgeous blue paint is in no way altered by the fact that the film's on it. Well, the guys at Borla have been a little tentative to be driving this Corvette because of how gorgeous it is and how much work and time and money they put into it. Now that the entire car has the nano fusion paint protection film from front to back, there will be no fear at all of taking this thing out of the garage and cruising it down the highway around the Motorhead Garage shop. We're going to be back with more Motorhead Garage after this, and I think I might go bang some gears and see just how good this film works out on the road.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Now, if you're working underneath your car with fuel lines like we are with our Chevy pickup truck, you're going to run into issues. I'm here with Mike from Lines to Go. Now, Mike, issues like rust. I mean, this is steel, or you got these lines that are plastic. You can't cut them anymore, number one. Not to mention, it's a gazillion miles long. When I get it from the factory, I can't even get it in there. Tell me about your lines.
Well, what we've done here, John, is to make the install a lot easier, is we've sectioned it. And as you just said a minute ago, factory lines are one long section, and they're installed at the factory before the body and bed are put on the truck, which isn't a problem when you're at the factory. But when you're out here in the real world, it's a big problem, and time is money. So with our product being a section, you put the front section in or the rear section first, it doesn't really matter. Snap it up in place, snap the back in place, and connect with the hoses provided.
Now, speaking of that, we went ahead and did the front. That was simple. I mean, we disconnected the battery, we dispressurized the fuel system, and then we'll kind of walk us through it. We had to get some special clips up top.
That's right. We had to get your basic off-the-shelf auto parts store GM quick disconnect tools. They're only a couple of bucks a piece. Right. It's not a big deal. You take the safety locks off, pry them off the screwdriver, insert the tool, push them in, and unsnap them.
That's it.
That easy.
Take the lines down, and then we just fed them back up through the bottom of the truck.
That's
come
right.
Up to the top, reconnect them, put your safeties on, you're good to go.
That's right, and we just utilized the existing OE clips, the roading clips, and it worked fine.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's get these old ones off. You said they were like galvanized. Tell me about the material, these lines versus yours, and let's go ahead and pull these off at the same time.
Well, these are a Galfan coated line.
Okay.
And they only have, in northern climates, you're lucky to get 5 or 6 years out of them.
All right.
And with our stainless steel, they'll never give you any problems again. So.
That's a huge difference. I mean, you're talking about the material, and Mike, you're from Canada.
That's right.
You've seen your share of rusted brake lines.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big problem.
Yeah, fuel lines, brake lines, no matter what. I mean, underneath the chassis is horrible. Now, tell me about your line. This is nice. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, this is a 304 stainless steel line.
Also, tell me a little bit about these ends right here. I mean,
Yeah.
tell me about the ends of the hose.
This is your typical GM, Ford, Chrysler, stainless steel, quick connect female. And what happens here in a lot of cases is when the old tubes rust, they swell inside this connector.
Right.
And what happens is it pretty much makes it impossible to use those tools we were talking about a while ago to make the disconnect. So if you're lucky enough to make the disconnect, it's very difficult to actually pull the connector off the tube without removing all the guts that are inside that connector.
Now, Mike, like you said, I mean, we went ahead, we cut these. So we cut them from the front to the back. But think about this. That line, what we put onto the top, actually connects to yours right here, but the factory didn't. So not only did we come from the fuel tank, man, we put, what, 12, 14 feet of hose trying to fish it up there, through all these brackets to the tank. It's not going to happen.
No, not easily at all. Be a good day's work, maybe more.
And this one went just as well. Can we go ahead and put the back one on? We got a back piece back here that's going to go to the tank as well and connect to these.
What we have here is your fuel cooler line.
Right. And it's good to know. We went ahead and pulled the cooler out of there, just made for easier access and for you to see. And we also loosened the ABS module so we could pull it out a little bit. Good little tips here so you can get the lines in there because they are factory bent. I mean, they're actually perfect. I can't believe how they're going in there and going right back into the clips. So you supply them with this piece as well?
Yes, we do. Comes with every set.
So what's going on is I'm going to have a factory set all the way from the tank all the way back up to where we start getting the high pressure. I'll tell you what, where can they find you on the web?
Linestoggo.com.
That's it, pretty simple.
We offer second-day FedEx shipping all over North America.
Well, I appreciate you picking a diesel. I mean, this was good, went in there real easy. There's nothing to it. These are great lines. You can go to the web, find them for yourself. You won't have to pull the whole cab or chassis off. They're going to fish in there really, really well. Stick around. There's plenty more. Motorhead Garage right after this break.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is being brought to you by Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977. AP Laser, leading the way. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Now, in a prior episode, you saw us use our Quick Trick Extreme on our Chevelle over here, and it was easy and accurate. And I know that because we took it for a test drive, and it drives straight as an arrow, no tire wear. It's great. Now, Quick Trick has another product here, and it's for trucks, fleets, buses, military vehicles. I mean, this is phenomenal because it goes from 15 to 26-inch rims. And I got it right here on the table for you. Everything you see comes with it. It comes with the whole stand here, the tire inserts that are going to go inside the rim. It even comes with these little inserts here that I can put on and actually protect the rim, so I can put it on the inside and outside of the rim. Really cool. It's because it's fleet repair. We can actually just interchange these and put these magnets on, these super powerful magnets. Now, most fleets and buses and heavy trucks are steel rims, so this is awesome. You can see I can fling that around. It's not going to come off. I can clip it on there in seconds. It's going to stay put. It comes with the actual magnetic system here for measuring the camber and the caster, which is real nice. And they give you the tape measure. The tape measure is going to go across the front of the vehicle and the back of the vehicle for tow and all the wrenches you need. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it to the test on an actual Ford F-150 that one of our people here actually got a line, and they say it's perfect. We're going to check it, and we're going to see if this thing works.
So while John gets his side set up over there, I'm going to get my side set, and it's real easy. We just take our pins, we set them into the little ridge there, basically the wheel, the bead where the tire mates to the wheel, and we're going to secure it down with these screws, or the thumb screws rather. What you want this to do is just be kind of squared up on the wheel, and as you'll see, it's got a nice solid bite. Now, one of the reasons people love the Quick Trick system is the fact that it's real compact and it's easy to use. This is something that can be transferred vehicle to vehicle. It's a fleet system for a reason. If you have a fleet of trucks, or even if you're in the business of having a service department, you can easily check the alignment on customers' cars when they come in. John, how you doing over there?
All right, well, I got mine secured. It's easy. I went on the outside of the rim just like you over there, Brian. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull a tape from the front and the back of the tire. That's actually tow. And what we're going to do is string it up there, and I'll show you what's going on. Now, like I said earlier, this guy actually sent it to the alignment shop. He works here. He's going to be a little bit mad because we could have done this for nothing right here and done it in a lot quicker time.
Secure, John.
And even more accurate, believe it or not. This is phenomenal. So I'm actually pulling a tape from the back tire to the front. You get yours secure. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the difference from the back of the front of the tire, and it should be about equal.
Go ahead, John.
Got it? All right, hold it in there. I'll bring it back. and just lock the tape. Everything sits there. It's a one-man operation. I mean, you can do that side and come over here, no problem whatsoever. I'm looking at this one, it's a little over 82, and this one's a hair over 82, so they got the toe absolutely right. If it wasn't, we'd go in there and adjust it. Another one I got over here, Brian, I got camber going on over here, and I got almost 0 on here. It was bouncing back and forth from 0 to 0.1. So they actually got the camber. Excellent, and that's good too. And this is proving it. So you know what? He got a good job over here, Brian.
Yeah, no, and I think another good point here is if you're somebody that goes out and uses your truck every weekend for off-road activities, maybe go out and hit the trail, hit the mud pit, that type of thing, and you drive it during the week, getting back and getting the alignment checked and correct is a great thing. If you're going to bounce your truck over rocks and stuff all weekend long, you want to make sure when you take it to work on Monday or Tuesday that the alignment's correct so you don't chew up those really expensive and big off-road tires. I think John talked about it before, but up to 44-inch tires can basically be part of the program here, and a big wheel as well. You can go up to 24.5 inches with this system. So it is a very versatile system, whether we're talking about industrial applications, off-road applications, you name it, this thing will do it. The Quick Trick Fleet System is something you need to check out. It can help your shop, and it can certainly help your own personal vehicle.
Yeah, definitely, and it's really cool if I push the button here. You know, camber is the inward-outward tilt of the wheel. It's viewed from the top of the vehicle, the spindle out. I can actually simulate it. That's how cool this thing is. If I just touch it a hair and tilt it out, you see it goes positive. If I go the other way, it goes negative. So if it was positive or negative, I can actually make the adjustment with this thing hooked up. You know, you can even take it to the caster, which is really cool because that's the back and forth movement. That aids in the steering and returnability of the steering wheel. That's big, especially on these fleet vehicles. So I can sweep it to the left or right, and with the mathematical calculation, I can get caster on this joker. I mean, this thing is really awesome, Brian.
Yeah, no, it's just a great product all around, something that's great for your commercial business, home business, and something you should probably have in your back pocket if you love going off-road or using your vehicle for anything other than just cruising down the highway on your normal daily commute to work.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, it's a shame the guy wasted so much money on alignment and had to use expensive equipment. We could have done it right here, Brian, with ease. If you have a cool product you want to get in here to Motorhead Garage Studios, just email Jeff at masterstv.com. Now we're out of time for today, so stick around. We'll be back next week for more Motorhead Garage right here.